Hey guys, it's the Zitch here, signing in for a new video, and these papers have nothing on them. So today's video is about an episode of Ancient Aliens, and I will be going over why it doesn't make any sense, which is pretty obvious, but let's dive deeper. So this specific episode is about how gods and deities and spirits that might have resided on mountains in ancient civilizations would be aliens. And so basically, it goes over the Greek Olympian gods and the Apu and the Incas.
I don't know what to call it. The Incas, like, religion? I don't know if it's a religion. The Incas, what would it be called?
The Incas' lifestyles, I guess you could say. But anyway, so they say that these might have been aliens. And so there's a few things that I find wrong with this. One is that even if the aliens were those gods, they wouldn't have had so much power, such as the Olympian gods that they said might have been aliens. Because the Olympian gods would have had power over natural things or unnatural things, and they would have been, and some of them might have been especially good at human activities. That being said, aliens are not from this world, and if they were good at human activities, that'd be extremely weird. Either they would have had to have been looking over us, but the problem is that those activities hadn't been around for too long, so it would have been harder to pick up on them without actually being in the population. Now, the Apu are a little bit more reasonable because they were spirits in the mountains that the Incas would ask help from, and they would gather ice from the mountains that would have healing properties. And that makes somewhat more sense until you look into their reasoning behind the ice, and that is that the way that those ships would have landed on the mountain would have created the healing properties. Now that seems a little bit interesting because one, I looked into it and nowhere could I find pressure or heat or anything related making ice have healing properties, which they said in the episode might have occurred. And second, it would have been extremely hard to actually land a ship or take off with a ship on the top of a mountain. That would be because the high altitude would have made it extremely hard to get any air resistance. Now, I could see a little bit of like if it were more like a modern day spaceship that we have, because those ones are very, because the fire that comes out, the way that helps it move is it creates a gas pocket that pushes it forward as it expands. That being said, the spaceships that aliens would have been thought to have had would not have had that similar. I wouldn't think, at least. Now they might have. If that is the case, I am completely wrong. But there's no way to prove that they did have similar mechanisms. And it would have been extremely hard for them to control it enough to land on the mountain in a safe manner. They would have most likely wanted to have landed either on flat, regular, like sea level ground or in the sea or the ocean. Because the uncontrollable landing mechanisms up in that altitude would have made it extremely unsafe for them to land without hurting the ship or their people, and that would have made them not want to go there multiple times. So these are just a few of the reasons, and the Olympian gods the same thing could be said about the elevation problem with the spaceships, because they don't have the same, like, those are pretty high up and they don't have the same, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The same, like, air pressure as down on this ground that we might be on. And the mountains, it's a lot less air pressure. It'd be going down instead of going up, and that'd be really hard for them to get back into the atmosphere, back out of the atmosphere, or land back in that same spot multiple times. Thank you. This has been The Zitch on Ancient Aliens, episode 11, season 6. Thank you for watching. Let's get into the video.